What is up, guys? It's DoubleWinning, and welcome to episode 1 of Beauty of the Team Comp. In this show, I'll be showcasing team comps I either see or think of myself, and kind of analyze why they're good and what their different strengths are, and kind of the general theme of it, so you guys can either try it out yourself, or just have more knowledge of the game. For our first comp, we have an Armor Shred Armor Buff comp, recently used by TSM in a game in the LCS Super Week against Complexity. In each team comp, you definitely want a strong first pick that is going to not really give away your strategy. So for the first pick for this team comp, you're going to want to pick Taric. Taric is an incredibly strong first pick that doesn't give away anything in your team comp, and if you need to switch up your team comp because of an unfavorable pick or maybe a counter pick on the enemy team, then you still have that option available to you without committing too much to the particular team comp that you've chosen. So you have two options for your next pick. Or your next two picks, and that is Jarvan 4 and Misfortune. Misfortune can be replaced by someone like Graves, but in this particular TSM game, they did choose Misfortune, so I'm going to use that as our example. Jarvan 4 is very important for this team comp, however, but it does start to give away what type of team comp you're running. But if you're sure in your team comp, and because the team comp is very strong, then you can definitely pick up that Jarvan 4 after you pick the Taric, and your team comp will start to build together, because those are really the core pieces to it. Next, you need a champion with a strong initiation, as well as keeping with the armor and armor debuff theme. So in this particular situation, TSM chose Malphite for his brutal strikes, giving him extra armor, his ground slam giving that speed debuff, and as well as unstoppable force, giving him a fantastic way of initiating a fight. Alternative options to this are Renekton with his slice and dice having that armor reduction, as well as being that frontline tank that the team needs. Or you could also choose someone like Xin Zhao, who has the initiation you need, as well as the armor debuff from his passive challenge, as well as his ultimate giving him tons of armor and magic resist after he initiates a fight. Next, you need your wild card. A lot of people discredit TSM for being a predictable team. However, today against Complexity, when they pulled out the Xerath, nobody really saw that coming. While it had been used by CLG in a previous game, it turns out that Xerath actually worked really well with this team composition for a few reasons. One of the big reasons being his passive, scaling with his ability power, it actually gives him more armor. Now let's get to the meat of why this team comp works with the different abilities on each champion. First, let's start with Taric. He has his Shatter Aura, which provides armor to everyone around him. He has his ultimate, which provides attack damage and ability power to everyone around him. And then we have Misfortune, who has a bullet time, which is a good AoE coned attack that after being locked up in Jarvan's ultimate, or Malphite's ultimate, or a Taric stun, or Xerath's combo, it allows her to lay down a ton of damage, and if you combine this with a bot item of like a Black Cleaver, it allows you to do a ton of armor shred while staying very safe. This is why MF isn't necessary for this team comp, and could also be filled with someone like Varus or Graves, who also has that strong AoE presence, as well as Graves having that ability to do physical damage and possibly use a Black Cleaver if you want to. Another thing to take note is the Black Cleaver is not needed on Misfortune, since you're going to have so much armor shred that you could actually postpone getting the Black Cleaver or even the Last Whisper until you absolutely need it, because the enemy team really shouldn't be building all that much armor with how much armor shred you have. Now let's start with one of the big hitters on the team, the big initiator, Malphite. Everybody knows what this champion does. You've got your unstoppable force to initiate just about any team fight. You've got your brutal strikes, which scales with armor, which is what this whole team comp is about, as well as debuffing attack speed of champions that hits for a large amount. So if you hit that, and then you hit a Randuin's Omen, or maybe you already have a Frozen Heart, the attack speed of your champions, the enemy champions, is going to be completely gone. And then you have your brutal strikes, your W, to increase your armor as well as your attack damage by the amount of armor you've got. It's just ridiculous how well it all synergizes with this team comp. So that's why Malphite is definitely a fantastic pick for this team comp. Next, we have another big MVP on the team, Jarvan 4. His Demacian Standard gives an armor and attack speed buff to everyone on the team. His Dragon Strike is an armor debuff, which scales as you rank it up, and if you connect it with your Demacian Standard, it allows you to provide another initiation technique in case the Malphite ultimate is down, or if you want to save the Malphite ultimate for later on in the fight for a better time to use it. And then his Cataclysm is really what brings his kit together. The Cataclysm, combined with the Bullet Time, combined with the Malphite ultimate, and the Ground Slam, and the Randuin's Omen even, keeping them all in this circle, allows you to absolutely obliterate the enemy team with debuffs and buffs on your team because you're keeping everyone so close. And then we get to the wild card. Xerath. Why is Xerath so incredibly good on this team comp, and why is it such a cool pick? While you could pick some sort of AD middle to go with this armor shred, debuff kind of composition, the reason I love Xerath so much in this team comp is because of his passive. 15% of your ability power turns into armor. So that armor that you're going to get from the Shatter, that you're going to get from the Bulwarker Aegis, that you're going to get from the Jarvan Flag, and then you're going to get it from your passive, you're going to have over 200 armor, late game, easily, without even building any armor, maybe. And then if you have like a Zhonya's, you could easily hit 300 armor as Xerath with barely building any armor. It's absolutely ridiculous. You're getting this all for free. And why is this Xerath pick incredibly good besides his passive? AoE damage. Not only can you catch someone out with your E-Q combo, and if after you do that, you have the Jarvan Flag knockup come in, you have the Taric Stun come in, and if it's a priority target, maybe you have the Malphite ult coming in. But his ultimate, that beautiful ultimate, the only real downside to that ultimate is the fact that it's hard to hit all three of them sometimes. But if they're Malphite ulted, if they're Taric stunned, if they're Jarvan knocked up, if they're Jarvan cataclysmed, you can't miss. If they're all in that Jarvan ultimate, you just throw it down like you're the god of thunder on them. And you just do all this AoE damage. And then to throw it all together, the icing on the cake, they can't even build magic resist against you. You have built-in magic penetration from your Locust of Power. So not only is your whole team comp based around armor penetration, armor shred, armor buffs itself, now you have this full magic penetration. So they don't even know what to do. The enemy team has absolutely no idea what to do. They just have to stack health. And at that point, you can only build so much health before it's not really effective, but they still can't choose which resistances to build. Because if they build MR to stop against this monster of Xerath, you have all this AD strength from the rest of your team. If they build armor, well, say goodbye to all that armor, because we have Shatter, we have Dragon Strike, we have the Black Cleaver. Like, all of it's gone. And so that's why I really, really like this armor debuff kind of team composition that you can still mess around. If they take away some of your champions, you can still change it up a little bit. But I definitely think this core of 5 champions right here was a fantastic lineup for TSM. And I'm really happy that I got to see it in action. If you guys have any questions or comments, if you guys like this series, I definitely plan on doing it more, because I really like analyzing these team comps, because for me in particular, I thought this team comp was beautiful. So if you guys really like the team comp, be sure to leave a comment below. If you guys want to see me continue doing videos like this, be sure to leave a like rating. And as always, guys, stay classy and keep winning. And you know what? Go get 4 of your friends. Try this team comp out in maybe a 5v5, whether it be ranked or normals. I really think you'll be impressed with the results.